Welcome to another Kong Show. Once again, we're with film critic Don Morton. How you doing, Don?
Fairly critical.
As usual, you'll be reviewing films that are currently playing in theaters here in Japan.
That's right.
And you have 8 movies to review this time, and we'll tackle the first 4 in this session, and then we'll post the remaining 4 in a session to be uploaded soon. And so, what 4 movies will you be reviewing in this session?
We'll start with Black Hat, Dying of the Light, Focus, and The Trip to Italy.
Worst first?
Black Hat. Okay, this is a film by celebrated director Michael Mann. He's given us The Last of the Mohicans, The Insider, and Heat. So I'm wondering what he's doing down at this level.
So what's wrong with this movie, then?
Well, nothing particularly wrong, but it's not much of substance either. It's multiplex fodder. Chris Hemsworth plays an incarcerated cyber criminal paroled by a desperate FBI to help them find a cyber villain who has already caused a nuclear reactor meltdown and upset the financial markets. I really didn't buy Chris Hemsworth as a hunky hacker. He's inexplicably adept at gunplay and close combat. It's a movie. Nobody does much of anything on a computer.
So would you call this movie hack work, then?
Okay. Oh, good one. Okay. No, but neither of it is the edgy cyber thriller that we had hoped for from Michael Mann.
All right. And the next movie is titled Dying of the Light.
This is about a veteran CIA agent who's in the first stages of Alzheimer's, and he discovers that a terrorist who tortured him 22 years earlier and he presumed dead is not dead, but alive and very unwell and dying in Kenya. So he shuffles off to kill the guy before he dies.
So he wants to kill the guy before he dies?
Yeah, I'm not recommending this film, really.
Then why are we talking about it?
Well, because it's got an interesting backstory. For one thing, it's by Paul Schrader. He did American Gigolo, Cat People, and Mishima, among others. And you can see the moody existential statement that he thought he was making about institutional decay. But the film's moronic financial backers wanted more of an action thriller, so they locked him out of the editing room, recut it, and rescored it into this misshapen piece of crap. Nicolas Cage is the star, and he does demented mood swings better than most, but wait for the director's cut, if there is one.
All right, let's focus on the next movie.
Which is called Focus. This is a slick romantic comedy about a professional con man played by Will Smith taking under his wing a lovely rookie in whom he sees real talent. This is a wonderful montage early on in which the art of picking pockets is explained and demonstrated.
So, is it a con artist movie like The Sting?
Well, it would like to be The Sting, and it certainly aspires to that, but there's too many double crosses and rug pulls, and they turn it into just jacking around the audience, and I lost focus and I lost interest. It would have worked better if anything was remotely believable. Now, Will Smith is trying to get back into box office royalty, where he was a decade ago with movies like Hitch. But he hasn't had a hit in a while, and he's going to have to work a little harder to get back there.
All right, the final movie in this session is probably a movie with which you can identify, titled...
I can. It's called The Trip to Italy.
And you've made this trip, right?
I've made trips to Italy, yes.
All right, tell us about it.
Comedic actors Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon, they play slightly fictionalized versions of themselves with their same names. They're tooling around Italy from northern Piemonte to Amalfi in a rented mini convertible, sampling top restaurants for the Observer newspaper, and bantering a lot. This is not an easy film to categorize. You could call it a chatty food travelogue. You could call it a scenic Italian nosh with a side of improv, or a scrumptious hangout movie postcard.
How about Sun, Fun, and Puns?
Okay, that's got it. It's directed by Michael Winterbottom, who has the sense to let his leads just run with it. And this results in some surprisingly insightful freeform comic riffs and hilarious impersonations.
Like dueling Brandos?
Yes, or a Michael Caine off. There's a bit of token drama, but this is about the food, the scenery, and just ambling about in the world-class banter. I found it to be a fairly constant chuckle.
What about the soundtrack?
Funny you should mention that. There's an inspired running gag throughout the movie. The car's iPod jack has apparently broken, and the only music they have to sing along with as they drive is an Alanis Morissette CD.
Ooh.
It's absolutely hilarious. It's genius. You'll leave the theater feeling refreshed, entertained, and probably hungry.
So make dinner reservations for after the film?
I would do that at an Italian restaurant.
Any recommendations from Mr. Morton?
Well, my favorite Italian restaurant is Stefano in Kawarazaka.
All right, we're out of time for this session of The Kong Show, Film Reviews, but in our next session, you'll be reviewing 4 more films that are currently playing here in Japan. What are those?
Those are The Zero Theorem, The Signal, Horns, and Run All Night.
And so we'll be back soon.
To be continued.